Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude. Hit like, share, subscribe up here in Wells, British Columbia. It's the 16th of July, Tuesday. We're looking at the heat sticking around a little longer than we thought, but there is a pattern change coming. Scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon still continue to be a threat. We haven't had that one big event yet that's kicked off a lot of fires through BC, but the province is kind of ready. It's kind of primed. The conditions are there. The heat is there. The dryness is there. The forest conditions are there. So we anxiously await to see what happens. But nonetheless, so far, we're just having a pretty nice summer. All in all, I guess, sometimes that's the way it is too. Let's go. There it is. This is bad news.
My God.
Falling out right now.
Anything could happen.
Get on!
Wow. I'll watch the video later.
Ain't dry mopping this.
So this is my baby, Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers, and we just passed 20,000 members in the group this week. So congratulations to us. Thank you all the moderators. Thank you all the group members, people who've been there a long time. Do have a thunderstorm risk on Tuesday. That's slight there. However, down in A area, Cranbrook might see some stronger storms down there. 70 gusts of wind. Small hail. Up in B, maybe a little larger hail. Possibly a bit of rain with that too. Some gusts of wind. And then C area, which I think would include also these guys down here, non-severe storms, maybe some stronger wind gusts, and also maybe not quite to 100 mile, but down that sort of same stretch that we saw storms kick off last week that lit that new fire, which has been highly visible there, sort of just near north of Lytton, sort of south of Ashcroft. Here's just a quick look at Canada today. Special weather statement, fog on the central coast. That's cool. The heat warnings continue there, up to 30 degrees all through southern BC. The heat warnings continue. Some of those places are extremely hot, but not quite reaching into the Caribous. We're just a little bit out of the heat warning. Heat warnings continue in Alberta. Severe thunderstorm watch continues down the foothills as well, from Nordag all the way down the Cowboy Trail, right down 22 Highway, right towards Pincher Creek. Heat warnings in effect up north still, maybe not quite as far north as we've been seeing, but still we're seeing 28 to 35 degree heats in the Northwest Territories. And people keep saying things to me like, oh, where's climate change? You just got a woke agenda. I actually get people messaging me and writing me and leaving comments. I just block you. I just make sure you can't comment anymore on YouTube. I don't have a woke agenda. Sure, maybe I follow rainfall warning in Southern Ontario. Maybe I follow politics that are not the politics you like. Large time severe thunderstorm watch all through Eastern Ontario and Western Quebec. But I don't actually have an agenda. My agenda truly is just to talk weather because I love thunderstorms and I'm bored and lonely. It's that simple. Severe thunderstorm watches in New Brunswick as well, so a little bit of surprise there. Heat warnings continue. Humidex up to 40 degrees in NB. Wowzers. I don't know if Frankie has ever seen temperatures like this out there in Sydney. We'll find out, I guess, when we talk to him on Thursday. I just want to talk about weather, and I want to talk about it more, and if people will support me, join the Patreon, and put some money in so that if everybody could put $2 in a month, I could have this sort of career where I just only do weather. So as you can see, the heat sticking around a little longer. You see that big bulge pushing the heat right up to the north, right up to the Northwest Territories. Big time heat. It's not until sometime next week, about 140 hours out from now, 150 hours, where we start seeing that storm pushing into southern BC. It's going to change the weather next week. We don't know the exact timing and date on that, but you could probably guess Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Right now they're saying Tuesday. So, we'll keep an eye on that. That's next week's story. And as you can see, still in through next week, we're looking next week, Monday, still at temperatures like 39 in Vernon, 42 in Spokane, right? So the heat warning continues. It's not till Tuesday we start to see that kick off, moving out. Right, so maybe by Wednesday we start to see some more and more reasonable temperatures through much of the province. So that's kind of the hope that we're thinking of and hoping for. Back to some more seasonal weather for the most of us. But first, we got to get through another day like this. Okay, this is Thursday coming up. I thought Thursday would be the hottest day, but that could actually end up being Saturday or something now. So we're looking at 32s and things like that down south. And we go jump ahead to 6 p.m. on Friday. 35s in Vernon. Maybe a little cooler in Prince George, but 33 Salmon Arm, Kamloops 35. So Friday afternoon, you're still looking at very high temperatures. Saturday getting even worse. Kamloops up to 38. So when I said that we've probably gone through some of our worst temperatures this year, I wasn't saying that there wouldn't be there wouldn't be more. But I'm a little surprised to see some of these values already so quickly come back. So up to 40 in Kelowna and Soyuz on Sunday, 41s. So we're talking extreme heat. We're talking fire weather through the roof. So we're really concerned about any lightning strike now as we get into this pattern, because we have no rain accumulation expected in southern BC in the next even the next 10 days. So even if we get this weather change, places in southern BC to sort of watch today, could see a little bit in those North Shore mountains and more or less up Harrison Lake, places like that. Maybe it looks like down by Mount Chiem and whatnot, those sort of northern Cascades where they come up just south of Hope. So that looks like a possibility. Maybe see some popcorns. We had some popcorns kind of like that up in the Bower. Yesterday they went over to the McBride area. So if you're in the McBride area today, make sure to keep your eyes open for smokes. Maybe tomorrow, the next day after too as well. Maybe a stronger storm. So we got very strong storms. Severe potential in Alberta today. Olds, for example, is a place that could get hammered. So some of that's going to spill over into the mountains. So that's more or less what we're looking at for severe potential in that southeast corner of BC. Southeast, that's right. As that could see some of those stronger storms spill over, and that's more or less. And we see, bam, as you get into the evening, some of those areas, Golden, Invermere, Canmore, you may be a target. Go down to the very southern spot of BC, very southern edge of BC, just sort of west of Soyuz there's the mountains there. They're the big, beautiful pointy mountains. And yeah, of course, across North Thompson, South Caribou. I have a feeling Wednesday might be a little better chance for that for some of us in the Caribou especially. So we're looking at pretty strong thunderstorm outbreak Caribou, Prince George on Wednesday. Again, we see some of those same areas down south that look pretty good, but we're concerned about Wednesday in the Caribou. It seems to me that that's a day I might want to be ready for thunderstorm watching. Horsefly probably seem to be a target. Caribou Mountain seem to be a target. North Caribou seems to be a target. Prince George area seems to be a target. So these are areas to be watching and ready for. We see just a little bit more of that same blob in the same sort of area. Also, Cranbrook looking pretty strong. We're having large thunderstorm outbreaks in Western Canada. BC is by far not the place getting the worst of it, and that's what you expect. However, we're the place that can't afford any of it right now, right? So again, Thursday, looking at Prince George, North Caribou, maybe here in Wells again. Valemount, keep your eye open for an isolated cell. There was that lingering storm that was developing out in the ocean this week. We talked about the offshore low that's going to challenge BC this week, and that's not till Friday we start seeing some of its energy kick in. And the ideas for where it's going to do seems to have changed a little bit now. Its timing seems to have changed, and we kind of expected that. But look at this, Friday, significant thunderstorm outbreak, and that's all through starting at, this is early in the day. 1 o'clock's early, so if it's expected at 1 o'clock, and this is new as well. These models keep changing all the time as the computer gets more and more information. So we're looking at North Caribou, Prince George, up to Mackenzie, into the Peace. These are areas. We're also the Omanika, all the way up the Dempster Highway. Some of that is going to be under thunderstorm threat, and that continues right up to Watson Lake. So that just gets us through the next bunch of days before we start looking at Saturday, where we get a bit of a and really BC's been kind of lucky in the sense that we've had all this heat pushing into southern BC, and it's actually created somewhat stable conditions that have led to there not being very many thunderstorms at all. So in some ways we kind of got lucky, right? But Sunday, these are days that we're expecting to see some changes. So Kootenays, keep Sunday in mind. Again, these things can change. The timing can change. Even locations can change. So but this gives us ideas about where we're going, right? We get us ideas that every day we're still seeing thunderstorms popping up somewhere in our future. And even though we've somehow managed to get through, look at on Sunday, the Peace in the north is going to up to Spatsizi, up to Watson Lake, just going to be completely messy. So we know that there's been a lot of heat and a lot of dry, but somehow we still kind of got lucky this year. Well, that may change soon. So we know that there's going to be this pattern change at some point. It's still a little bit far away to guess exactly what it's going to do, but we expect to see some large outbreaks of thunderstorms when that happens, and that's generally a big pattern change like that. That's what it's going to do. Fire danger across Canada. We've really been seeing the east improve, while the west gets worse. This is fire danger map. So yeah, looking worse and worse in BC and the Northwest Territories. No one's ever seen that. Fine fields in southern BC, extremely dry. The Duff Moisture Code, mineral soil, the organic layer of ground is dry. Drought code, really bad all through Western Canada and even some of the Eastern. I mean, you do expect to see droughtier conditions in the summer, nonetheless. But this is beyond just this summer thing. This has been going on for some time. And here's our buildup index. Yeah, fire conditions, fire spread is bad. We're in a bad situation here right now. Well, you just look at what the fire outlook is right now, and we do have in Portland today. We're going to have not just Portland, but through Oregon and whatnot. Some of those states in that area, we're going to have some pretty big outbreaks of thunderstorms. It's very hot there. It's very dry. So we expect fires to kick off in this area more or less. And if you look at day 2 fire outlook, and you see it starts to move into southern BC, right? So we're now getting into that position where you would expect to see the National Weather Service to be issuing red flag fire warnings that would, but they don't, because they only forecast for the United States. They won't show the red flag warning going into Canada. But now we're starting to see by Wednesday, that those highly extreme fire conditions are now reaching into southern BC, and we have days still before there's any kind of a change. But still today, we're getting kind of lucky all in all. There is that outside risk of thunderstorms, scatter cumulus, sit in pretty good condition in BC right now, all in all, right? And one of the reasons we're expecting those fire conditions to pick up in southern BC is wind gusts, right? So we already see Wednesday afternoon, stronger wind gusts down south. And we also have that up north, but conditions aren't so bad. And if you see them in the afternoon, now it's being pushed. We had Thursday circled, now it's looking more Friday. But we got wind event coming because we know that this low is going to throw that instability, and it's gonna make clashes. We know there's going to be high wind events coming as well at the start of this. So that's the real concern, right? If we have any new fires light up, with the lightning that's going to be this week, it's these wind events that are going to really put them into overdrive. Because when you look at drought intensity in Western Canada, it's really picked up. That's why today the fire spread danger is pretty high in central BC. It's pretty high, especially when you get further south down in the Okanagan and places like that, Vernon. We are concerned about that. As we get further forward, it gets even worse. Rounds of thunderstorms, rounds of heat, rounds of wind, and then we get a weather change. It's going to be so good, though, just to have things cool down just a little bit. People are working on the heat, and they are telling me that it is hot. It's hot to work in. Okay, well, that's the show for today. Hit like, share, subscribe. Please tell a friend. Help me grow the channel. Join the Patreon. Donate $1. Become a member on the YouTube channel. Help keep a guy. I've not been working. I've been waiting for a fire call for 3 weeks, I've not been working. No work's coming. I don't know what I'm going to do. But there's just no work. That's how it is sometimes. Okay, well, otherwise, thank you. Have a good day. Bye for now.